And we're gonna start with a dear friend of mine. And they gave me some notes right here, but I'm just gonna riff this because we go way back, and I'm gonna just say a dear friend of mine. Assembly member Soria, I have known her since she was first elected to the Fresno City Council. I was fortunate enough to serve with her, and I have watched her career blossom to where it is today. Could not be more proud of her as a friend and as a colleague. And I will tell you personally that she works for people in this community, in this valley every single day, ever since I've known her to be elected. And I'll tell you a little secret that I don't tell many people, but obviously it's not gonna be that much of a secret anymore. She kept me straight. There were many times, if you watch old council meetings, Esmeralda sitting on the other side of the dais, she's come running down and she's pointing at me, telling me how I needed to vote on something. And you know what? She was right. Because she was always making sure that we were voting for the right things for the residents of our community. She has always been a fighter for people in our community. And without any further ado, I welcome up my friend, Assembly Member Esmeralda Soria.
Thank you. Thank you, Oliver. Man, I'm gonna have to take you with me to every event so you can introduce me. But good morning, Mendota. How are we doing? It's warm, huh? It's still, I thought summer was over. I guess not. But I am so thrilled to be here this morning with all of you because today is a good day for the city of Mendota, but I will say that it's a good day for rural communities on the west side of Fresno County, right? Let's give it up to the west side communities out here. And so I do want to thank many of the folks that have been behind this idea of bringing Fresno EOC to Mendota and to service these rural communities. I will tell you, long ago, actually, I was also a board member of Fresno EOC. And while I was there and also represented more of the urban area, I always had the back of the rural representatives that said, hey, EOC needs to do more in the rural communities, because if it is about fighting poverty, if it is about serving the needs of those that are most vulnerable, some of the most vulnerable people in our county live in these small rural communities and have the greatest challenges in getting to the big city to get the resources, not only that they need, but the resources they also deserve to have. And so I'm so proud to now be representing this part of Fresno County as the assembly member, but to see Fresno EOC really invest now in this community and say, hey, we are here, we're going to be present, and not just a couple days a week, but we're going to be here to make our mark and make sure that we do meet the residents of Mendota and the other rural communities out here on the west side where they're at, to make it just a little bit easier for them. As you guys know, EOC provides some of the most critical services for our families, our vulnerable families, and so I'm very excited to see that this center is going to provide some of those critical services, early childhood education, which is super, super important, especially for these immigrant language learner communities, that if we don't get these kids early, we may lose them. And so an early investment is an early investment in our county as a whole, because we want to make sure that these children thrive. And so if these children thrive, our community thrives as a whole, and then we all benefit in our community. And so I want to thank the board of directors for saying yes and for being willing to make this investment. I want to thank the community leaders here from Mendota and also some of the other rural residents that have been advocating for years for this to happen, to see more of a presence. And I know Emilia is not here, but I know that she's super ecstatic. If you guys didn't know, Emilia is from Mendota. And so it is awesome to see that her now leading, one of the biggest nonprofit organizations, doing some amazing work throughout the county for so many decades, now is bringing these services to this community, because she grew up as very similar to my story, a daughter of immigrant farm workers. And so she knows very intimately the challenges that our families that live here in these communities, what they experience. She knows as a mom that has a special needs, child, and the challenges of moms here in Mendota. And I want to thank Ofelia, and I know there's others here from Mendota that have been advocating for a long time to bring a variety of different services for moms that have kids with special needs here in our community. We have more work to do, but I think that this is the beginning of something beautiful. This is the beginning of the investment of rural communities. And we say today, Mendotans, we see you. West Fresno County residents, we see you and we care about you and we love you, and we're willing to make that investment, because if these families thrive, our entire community will thrive. And so I want to thank all of you guys for being here. And I want to just let you guys know that this center is not only going to serve Mendota, it will serve Firebaugh, Huron, which is still like 35, 40 minutes away from here, San Joaquin, Kalinga, Kerman, Three Rocks, Five Points, Tranquility, Cantua Creek, Raisin City, Carruthers. These are the communities of the west side, and this place now becomes a little bit closer to these communities so they don't have to drive an hour. It will save them a tank of gas, which these days it's so expensive. And so with this being closer, we're gonna open the doors to more families in this area. And I will hands down say that in the west side, the hardest working families live out here in the west side. And that's why I'm so proud to represent them in the state assembly. But again, congratulations, Fresno EOC, but more congratulations to the community out here in the west side that will get the services that not only they need, but that they deserve. And so with that, I do want to present a certificate of recognition on behalf of the California legislature. So Mr. Baines. Just want to congratulate, obviously, Fresno EOC for the great work in making this a reality and their grand opening.